Hey, hey there, everybody. I'm just messing around a little bit, testing out some more stuff. JSP, yes, still time to ask questions for the Q&A. Feel free. Um, if you don't mind typing them out over at the that Q&A video that I put up a few days ago, that would be awesome. Hey, Richard Betancourt, what's going on? Mercury's Laboratory, how you doing tonight? Just thank you, JSP. Appreciate that. I got about 3 pages of questions, which will be awesome. There's some, there's some overlap and some ones that I'm grouping together and stuff like that, but it should still be pretty cool. Thanks, Mercury's Lab. This is actually, I don't have my regular microphones and mixing board set up. This is just the microphone that's in the computer. Mathematics. I like that username. That's cool. Thanks for the compliment. I was looking at Zach ASMR was doing a stream yesterday, and he was talking about getting ready to trim the sides of his beard before he travels down to Florida soon or something like that. Then you got Wandering Whispers and James ASMR. There's a whole bunch of ASMR beards out there. Oh, thanks, JSP. That's very kind of you. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been a year, almost. I think it's the 14th. 14th of this month will be a year. That's crazy. You don't realize it's a year when you just kind of have your head down thinking about, videos 2 weeks at a time. Next thing you know, you look up and it's been a year. It's crazy. Anybody think I need to get a mod for the chat on Saturday? I can't imagine that a channel as small as mine would run into any problems, but I don't know. Thanks, Jay, for being with me for 8 months. That is so cool. I don't know, the first stream we did was just fantastic. It was nice and small, and everybody could talk to each other, and the chat was just flowing real nice, and we didn't have any trouble. I don't know that I expect, any that much bigger of a crowd for the Q&A thing, but I wasn't sure if I should have a mod in the chat just in case. I don't know. I don't have a good feel for that thing. I've never, done anything like that before. I don't know who I'd ask. Yeah, exactly. Ask another channel artist to be on mod standby. I feel kind of weird about asking because don't want to be presumptuous and assume that they want to spend a couple hours of their Saturday night hanging out here. Although suppose you could multitask and have a whole bunch of other stuff going on your computer. I imagine that's what most people do these days anyway. I'm a little more old school. I don't know. My brain tends to be more of a one thing at a time kind of a brain, I guess. But I know a lot of people watch ASMR videos when they're gaming and stuff like that. Yeah, I generally wouldn't think so either, but that's a function of the numbers, you know. I've seen some bigger. I watched a few minutes of some. Hey, Slipshot, what's up? I've seen a few minutes of some much bigger chats, you know, with lots and lots of people watching at one time, and I don't know. The rudeness factor can get out of hand pretty quick in those kind of things, but I just can't imagine. It was really interesting. You know, there was a couple of interesting examples of that just recently, because Maddie Tingles, you know, he's been streaming on Mondays lately, and of course Maria did a 1 million sub celebration stream on Tuesday, and I don't know if you guys caught those streams, but Maria's in particular, I mean that's, I don't bring that up as an example of rudeness, but you know, when you've got thousands and thousands of people watching a stream, the chat is just, it's just like a raging river of comments, just screaming through the chat window. I mean, you can't single out any any one thing that anybody says. It's just a torrent of comments. It's unbelievable. I think Maria did it the right way. I think she had things she wanted to do anyway, so she wasn't trying to, you know, pick out individual comments and respond to things in real time, because it would have been almost impossible. Although I do think she, you know, did respond to some things that she saw. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, I've just been kind of cracking into those chat tools myself recently, since this will only be the second one I've done. But yes, I was just noticing tonight you can set up, you know, you can set up some filters that key off of certain words and stuff, and you can do things like prevent links and hashtags, and you can do a slow mode where any one individual user has to wait a certain amount of time before consecutive posts, that kind of thing. Like I said, I don't, you know, it shouldn't be an issue. I just didn't know if it was just prudent to, you know, have somebody there set up as a mod, just in case, you know, somebody not from our Gaslamp community, but somebody else just kind of cruises through and wants to cause trouble. I don't know if it turns out anything like the last one we did, it'll be fantastic. Nice, and maybe I guess it's one of the few times you'll hear a YouTube content creator saying it was nice that the crowd was small. Hey, there's Louis Play Drums. Louis plays drums. Thanks for stopping by, Louis. Just doing a little bit of just testing out a couple of things in the reminding myself how a couple of things in the YouTube interface works before Saturday. But it's good to see you. Thanks for asking your questions. You ask them good, you know, what do I want to call them? Backstory type questions that I'm actually going to start off the stream on Saturday with that block of questions. So I appreciate you helping me out. I did update the event listing for Saturday, and I'm doing it earlier than I thought I was going to. I'm going to try it at 9, a start time at 9 Eastern, instead of the later thing that I did last time. So the event listing should be updated now. So. Well, I hope so, Jay. I think it's one thing about I suspect that one thing that is true about a small, slow-growing channel is that, you know, the sense of community is a little bit, I don't know, stronger or more, I don't know, I hate to use the word loyalty. It sounds maybe a little bit presumptuous because I'm just a dude putting videos out there, you know. But some of the discussions we've got going back and forth, and some of the comments of the videos, you know, it's exactly the kind of thing I'm trying to do, and so, you know, it's one of the few times I think maybe it's, you know, on the one hand, before you get into something like this, you think, or maybe, you know, you don't think necessarily, but you think, wow, I wonder how fast the channel will grow. I wonder if anybody will notice me, that kind of thing. And I think, you know, I think the default position is everybody wants to go out there and, you know, put out content and have a big channel. But I think there's definitely something to be said for I don't know, being on a slow and steady growth path. Because I know so many of the names now that, you know, show up in the comments. You know, these great these really large channels. You know, they get thousands and thousands of comments in the first few minutes. You know, it just. I don't know how you have much of a sense of community in a case like that, but when you get up into that size, I think I don't know, it's a whole different game up there. I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm certain you could make it grow if you wanted to. I'm sure you've seen that your map videos. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, obviously. I mean, if I uploaded more often, you know, that's definitely one thing that the YouTube math smiles upon frequency. You know, the more often you put content up there, the more often you are showing up in people's recommended lists and stuff like that. But, you know, and I'm sure if I was a role player and if I, you know, was a face on camera kind of a guy, you know, I mean, those are the things that I could control. So you're right about that, but I also think there's a lot of mysterious behind the scenes stuff with those YouTube algorithms, and, you know, I can't for the life of me come up with an explanation why those 2 map videos you know, pull in so much more traffic than anything else I've done. I mean, it's half, those 2 videos make up half of the total lifetime channel views over the whole year. Just those 2 videos. No idea why. So, you know, I'm going to touch on this topic on Saturday because somebody asked that question directly. But you know, what if I didn't post those 2 videos, right? Everything else I did exactly the same. But what if instead of those 2 videos I did something else, and they didn't behave like the map videos, and they just behaved like the normal videos that I put out? I'd have half the views that I have now. And you know, I don't have a lot of views as it is. You know, it's a small channel, but you know, we talk about things that we can do to have an influence over channel growth rate and stuff like that. How are you supposed to predict something like that? You know, just make that one change, one topic change in 2 videos, and half of the traffic goes away. You know, I don't know. Hey Richard, what's going on? Slipshod does not want to see any role plays and no more cranial nerve exams. Okay, I guess I'm. Those were on my list, man. They were going to be next. They were going to be next on my list, and now I gotta. Found your channel through the first map video. Map videos are popular, not my personal favorite. Recommended video. Yes, recommended video flanking a soft speaking video I was watching. I don't dig into the you know, when you're a creator, YouTube throws a ton of data at you, and you can go down all these data rabbit holes and look at where your views are coming from and stuff. And yeah, I think a lot of the views on those map videos come from the map videos showing up in recommended lists. But why, right? Why those 2 and not any? I mean, it's not like I haven't had a variety of topics, right? Pocket watch videos don't do it. The children's book videos don't do it. Life magazine, wristwatches, space missions, you know, astronauts, you know. Why don't those show up in those recommended lists like the map videos do? I don't have a clue. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, there's definitely some things I could control if I did things a little bit differently, but I don't know how you control those kinds of variables. The fact that a single topic choice in 2 videos could double your views over a year. It's crazy. But whatever. I'll probably do another map video in November. I think I've got another 5 or 6 map types that I want to that I can get lined up and talked about. It's almost turning into a little bit of an experiment now, because I want to see if the pattern continues. You know, would a third map video perform the same way the second one did? I mean, we got quite a shot in the arm from that second one, and it would just be interesting to see what happens. People must search for map videos a lot, so other videos containing keywords. Yeah, I've wondered that. You know, it's weird because if you do search on the terms ASMR map or ASMR maps, I mean, those 2 map videos, it's surprising. They're like in the top 5. Top 5 in YouTube search. Those 2 videos show up, along with that map drawing video that ASMRctica did. and of course the ASMR Nerds Elder Scrolls map video, which is awesome. So if people are searching for that particular topic a lot, then yeah, they will see those two videos right at the top of the list. But you know, maybe you're onto something. Maybe those searches then somehow relate to what shows up in recommended lists. I don't know. It's definitely a mystery. But you know, at least it's something I am interested in. I mean, I don't necessarily want to be, you know, known as the ASMR map guy, but I do like maps and I'm happy to talk about them. You know, it's not like I'm doing stuff that I have no personal interest in just because I think, you know, it'll pull in views or whatever. But you know, I can't keep coming up with unique map. I can't do that forever. I think I can definitely do a third one. Beyond that, it might be getting a little silly, unless I start buying some crazy map styles that I don't actually own, and you know, find interesting stuff on the web. I might buy one or two maps even for the November video, just because a couple of things were recommended to me in the comments of the other two videos, and I really like the idea. So one of them is going to be a shipwreck map from the Door County area of Wisconsin. I appreciate that comment about the channel being more personal, Jay. That's ultimately the point. For me, that's the point of all of this. You know, it's a personal, creative outlet, and I want it to very much feel like conversations across the dining room table. And the whole point is to take little just slices of me and put them out there, hopefully with the goal of triggering a response in the comments that we can then, you know, use as a launching point for interesting discussions and connections, and triggering memories, and having talks about, you know, our opinions on things and how things affect us, and that kind of stuff. Exactly the way it would be if we were talking across the table from each other. And that is, to me, that's the definition of personal, right? That is, I mean, that's one of the reasons, you know, I pick the topics that I do and talk about the things that I do, because it enables me to share a piece of myself, and more than just pure object trigger videos would, you know. Oh man, that's awesome. I really appreciate this feedback you're giving me, Jay. Yeah, I really appreciate that, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And you know, so when you talk about things that you could do differently to make the channel grow faster, or things that I am doing that perhaps might keep my audience very, very limited, you know, I do wonder if that's one of the things. You know, I do think there's a portion of the audience out there that is just, you know, kind of, hey, let's cut the crap and get to the triggers. You know, so this notion that we're gonna sit there for an hour and kind of really patiently talk about stuff, and really kind of patiently consider something. I don't know, maybe, I don't know if a lot of people are down for that, you know. So maybe that's a thing too. Maybe it's a little too real. It's a little too. I mean, it's certainly not meant to be heavy or serious necessarily. I mean, you know, are you familiar with, you know, the example I will always point back to is relaxing ASMR. If you've never, you know, if you've never seen that gentleman, and you like anything that I'm doing here, you should go check him out. He's around the 70,000 subscriber level or so, just by doing really personal. He's got a wooden table, and he just, you know, he I guess he's a little bit known for mechanical fountain pen videos. He's done a lot of those. He's got amazing penmanship, you know, and he'll ink fountain pens and test them out, and he knows. He's got amazing collections. He seems to know a little bit about everything, and you know, watching him for a couple of years, I think watching him was one of the first times I started thinking a year ago or a little more, you know, I might be able to do something like that, you know. And his whole approach was so inspiring to me, and and he's managed to put a following together doing that same kind of personal, low-key, looking over the shoulder as he, you know, does interesting things with his hand and tells you interesting things approach, right? But, you know, he's been doing that for 6 years or more. You know, he and ASMR Vids, I mean, those guys, I keep knocking these two rings together. I'm sorry about that. You know, when those guys started, there just wasn't as much this kind of content as there is now. And so the neighborhood's a lot more crowded, you know. There's a lot more competition. There's a lot more saturation. You know, I mean, on the one hand, he's very, very inspiring to see the kind of stuff that he's done and the following he's been able to put together. But I don't have any delusions that, you know, I could do the same in the same amount of time, because I just came in too late. So, you know, there's an adjustment period that I think creators go through when they start putting their stuff out there and start getting a feel for what the likely trajectory of their channel is going to be. Are you gonna strike the magical balance of supply and demand and hitting the YouTube algorithm math just right and explode? Or is it going to be much more slow and steady? And, you know, you have to calibrate. You have to calibrate your expectations a little bit. And hopefully you'll be okay with the trajectory that it looks like you're gonna that is in store for you, right? I should pay attention to what you guys are saying over here. Slipshod, what about reading and talking about bits of political philosophy? I will That's a good idea. I think some other content creators could probably do a much better job of that than I could. That's not a topic that I spend a lot of time in personally. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could do a very good job in a topic like that. Doesn't seem heavy or serious, extremely relaxed and open. I appreciate that. If I wanted triggers, I would watch a video of that. Yeah. Well, you know, we did that on the last stream too, Jay. I don't know if you, I don't remember if you were in the chat on the last stream or not, but I did try to, I had some objects here, and we were doing sound explorations in the mics while we were talking about stuff, and I do like being able to do two things at once like that. I think that's a nice mix of, you know, the discussion and some trigger style content as well. I thought it worked out really nice. I've got to think about a handful of objects to pick out for Saturday's video. Actually, content is much better. Talking to an old friend. Yep. I appreciate that. Square Bear, hey, how you doing? I think you mentioned orienteering in one of your videos. Yes, orienteering got mentioned in both of the map videos. Would you consider making a video about that? Map plus outdoor. Somebody asked that exact same question for the Q&A on Saturday. And that is certainly a possibility. I'd have to think through how I would work something like that. And I've been wanting to get outdoors more and more, but some of the ideas that I've got in mind and some of the test footage that I've shot makes me realize that I really, for me to do the kind of outdoor stuff that I want to do and have it match what I've got in my head, I really need a gimbal stabilizer for the phone, because I cannot stand jumpy handheld video. So I've got to put that on my equipment wish list for the channel. But yeah, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Yeah, Jay, please do check out Relaxing ASMR, all one word. Oh, and I appreciate your loyalty. That's so cool. We'll have you keep doing what you were doing and support it. Because I could never have described this channel as something I would enjoy before witnessing it. Well, that's a really good point. Yeah. Of course, you might be able to say the same thing more generally about all of ASMR, right? That's why nobody outside of my family knows that I do this kind of content, because I just do not know how I would even begin to describe this to anybody else, and I just am not even interested in having the conversation. Missed the last live stream. I saw it with the shot glasses and the ceramics. Conversational aspect is huge. What about a video about the things you find the most boring? I wonder what that would be. I do have a somewhat curious mind. Try to find something interesting in just about anything. Video about the things you find the most boring. I'll have to think about that. This video is just from the camera in the computer, just like last time. My encoder is telling me that I'm dropping a few frames. I assume it's not anything you guys are noticing too much. Both of the computers in this house are pretty old. I'm asking a lot of these poor machines by. An old yearbook, huh? That's a really neat idea. Have you guys ever you ever gone to a public library and sometimes there will be a section in the public library with yearbooks of local high schools and colleges, and boy, sometimes when I get in a section like that, I will go to the college yearbooks and, you know, pull out something from the 20s or the 30s and just look at those kids, you know, graduating college in 1924, say. Look at those faces. Look at the hairstyles and the looks in their eyes, you know. And there's a weird kind of time machine aspect of that, right? Because you're looking at those pictures that were taken at a time when they had everything in front of them. And now I'm opening up that yearbook and looking at pictures of these people that very more than likely have now lived their whole lives and are not with us anymore. And you wonder what became of them and what kind of lives they led, you know. Because in a yearbook, especially those old yearbooks, so everything's in black and white, everybody's got their best clothing on, their best hairdos, right? Everybody's put their best face on for these yearbook photos, but, you know, which were the happy ones and which were the ones that were struggling with something, and which ones went on to be successful and which ones didn't, and which ones just kind of went out and did a plain, honest, simple life, made lives better for the people around them, and did good, hard work, and I don't know, yearbooks. It's so interesting that you bring up yearbooks, because yeah, looking at old yearbooks really, really fires my imagination big time. I don't know how we can make a video about that necessarily. I don't know. Seems like there ought to be something right there, right? Because it is a very evocative topic, at least for me. Hey there, Alexi Lupin. Thanks for stopping by. There's nothing to see here tonight. I was just testing out some things, and I'm just waxing philosophic about a couple of topics while we're hanging out here. I need to get to bed soon because I got one more work day this yeah, the yearbook thing. That's really interesting. Are you going to be at the? Are any of you guys going to make it to the stream on Saturday? You think? Thanks, Alexi. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've always been told my voice has a certain something about it. The trade-off, of course, is that I can't, you can't hear a thing I say in like a loud room, like in a bar or something like that with background music and a lot of people talking. You cannot hear a thing I say. I don't have a loud version of the voice that cuts through. Well, maybe except when I have to put on a bad dad voice when the kids need something like that, but that's not too often. Whenever I think about my old classmates, I think it would make me sad if they were doing better or worse than me, so why bother? Yeah, that's a good point, Slipshot. That's one of the reasons I kind of stopped logging into my regular civilian Facebook page about 13 months ago. But that's an advantage of looking at an old yearbook from the 20s or 30s when we don't have any connection to any of those people, and we can let our imagination kind of run across all of the faces somewhat equally, I'm from the UK where yearbooks just do not exist. What do you mean they don't exist? Are you serious? Alexi, the upcoming stream is this coming Saturday night, 2 nights from now. It's the 1-year anniversary Q&A stream. There's a video on my channel asking for questions if you would like to ask one, or several, 12, whatever. Yeah, it's going to be 9 o'clock 9 o'clock Eastern Time, Saturday night. So, talk to me more about this yearbook thing. They don't have yearbooks at schools in the UK? I've never heard of someone here, Australia, having a university yearbook. Really? Yes, it'll be Sunday morning for you, Alexi. We don't have yearbooks or any kind of yearbook equivalent where we have some kind of keepsake for our years and fellow classmates in school. My goodness. Nope, we leave and then that's it. If you don't stay in contact with people, then that's the end of it, really. Maybe we're more sappy and sentimental here in the States. I have school magazines from when I was in high school, which have everyone's photos in them, but like I see in American films. Yeah, man. Yeah, back when I was in high school, they do it a little bit differently for my kids, I've noticed, which actually annoys me a little bit. But when I was in high school, the yearbook for that year would come out a couple of weeks before the school year ended, and one of the things you would do is take it around and have all of your best friends sign it. and that was a huge huge tradition. And these days it's a little messed up that my kids' schools still have yearbooks, but in order to, they claim, in order to capture all of the, the stuff that happens at the school all the way through the spring semester, they work on finishing the yearbook over the summer, and then you don't get the yearbook until the fall for the previous year. But that means that you don't have an opportunity to have all your friends sign it at the end of the year because you don't get them until the fall. That's something they do now that they didn't do back in my day, and I don't think that's as nice. Well, I guess I've learned something. I would have not ever guessed that that was a American only thing. Huh. Signing each other's school shirts. That's cool. Yep, jumper meaning sweater. I did. I think I knew. I think I knew what that was. Man, you really got me thinking about this yearbook thing. I'm gonna have to put that on my list. I have a list on my phone of video ideas that I kind of have been building all year, and I love the thought of that. I'm just having a hard time thinking about what the actual content would look like or what we'd talk about. Facebook does take away a huge aspect of the yearbook thing. Yeah, I agree with that. But it replaces it with like this fake, this kind of artificial connection. Facebook convinces everybody that because you're able to see pictures of what a person you knew in high school had for lunch that day, that you're somehow maintaining a connection with them. It's I don't know. I've soured on it over the years, I think. We see so many American films, it's hard to tell what are real American things and what are movie things in some cases. For ages I thought yellow school buses were movie only. Yeah, nope. My kids get on a yellow school bus. School just started for them yesterday for the fall, and yep, they get on a yellow school bus. Yep, completely agree. I wonder if I could even, you guys can let me test something. Actually, if you guys don't mind indulging me for a second, I'm very curious about whether I could even show, because the camera in this computer is not very good. I was curious if I can even show a book and have it come across at all. You guys mind helping me test that before I sign off? Let me, do I have one close by? I'm looking around. I don't think I do. Can you guys give me like 30 seconds so I can go grab something? You guys are getting the super secret treatment tonight for stumbling over this test stream. I'm going to take this sleeve off because it's going to be too reflective. Check this out. This is my high school yearbook. Of course, all high school yearbooks have to have the quasi-motivational, forward-looking motto. As you can see, it's fairly sizable, and look at all those signatures. Or saying that's what we did. Back cover. Yeah, I mean, you know, for an actual video about a yearbook, we'd have to do it. We'd probably have to do it in the regular room with more controlled lighting. You know, all the videos that I've done where I've had books or album covers or stuff like that, I have to rig up little angled platforms that you don't ever notice in the videos because the phone is pointing, you know, right down perpendicular to the surface. But a lot of times I have to do that to make sure that the dining room light above the table doesn't just bounce right into the camera lens. Are all yearbooks embossed? No, I would say not. This was my senior book. I think the books before this were not. There's no way we could get something like that in the UK. I'll tell you what, penmanship has declined, you know, I absolutely agree. But, you know, but the other thing that's true is that the girls always seem to have better penmanship than the boys. Why is that? Why were they always better at that than us? And in this particular book, there's a mix of color and black and white. And the freshman, sophomore, and junior classes were in black and white. They had smaller pictures like this. And then the seniors had the larger color pictures like this. So do you get yearbooks for leaving freshman, sophomore, and senior years? Well, they're offered for sale every year. So you can buy a yearbook every year you're at school. I'm an English teacher. I know some boys with lovely handwriting, but to answer, I think it's a social gender roles make girls think they shouldn't have nice handwriting. Yeah, my son, bless him, has terrible penmanship, I'm afraid. Do your schools even teach, writing, long form cursive writing versus printing? But anyway, this is not a great picture, but that's my graduating class. It was in the gymnasium. We had about a little over 300 people in my graduating class. High school is 6 years. That's interesting. One of the most American pictures I've ever seen, a gym full of people. So you don't, you don't have a big graduation ceremony, Jay? Where do you put your graduates? Marching band is another thing. It's very American. None of my schools had a marching band. Yeah, I was in band for 2 years in middle school, but I did not continue into band in high school. But marching band was a big thing. For our school, they would, practice during the summer, and then there was competition season, and this was marching on football fields and things, There's concert band. There's people with horns. He will be a good doctor if he writes badly. And you guys are funny. Kurt de Christina. Hey, thanks for stopping by. This was really meant to be just a little test, but we kind of got off on a few tangents. No, that's not just a UK joke, slipshod. That's I think it's a universal stereotype that if doctors are writing a prescription, you cannot read it. Hey, Annie. Thanks for stopping by. Just in case, anybody's wondering, this is not the real stream. That'll be in 2 more nights. I was just testing out some stuff, and some friends stopped by, and we're kind of chatting. So it's good to see you. We're talking about yearbooks. Might be a future video idea. Thanks, Kurt. I appreciate it. Well, thanks for helping me out with the test tonight, everybody. And thanks for the fun discussion topics. Annie, are you serious? You're a big fan? Are you a big fan of maps, Annie, or are you just a fan of listening to me drone on and on about maps? Because I clearly have no trouble doing that. Yeah, that yearbook video, the key to that one absolutely is to get an old yearbook. I don't think, I know our library has some of those old yearbooks that I was just describing, but they're in a reference section, and they're not, you can't check them out and take them home. But another place that I tend to see really old yearbooks is in flea markets. A lot of time these flea markets, the big rooms that have all of these different booths where people have, you know, set up all sorts of, you know, odds and ends type things to sell. I've seen really old yearbooks in there too. And if I could find one from the 20s or 30s, that would be really, really cool. Thanks for the opportunity to have a chat with you. I've enjoyed it. You know, you're very welcome, Jay, and I appreciate you being here. That's one of the things. That's one of the reasons why I want to keep doing streams every month or so. It's because I really, I really enjoy the chance to be a little more interactive. One of the reasons that I put so much emphasis on the comment section of these videos is because that's where I'm looking to have the interaction happen, but not every video really generates that kind of back and forth, unfortunately. And in a situation like this, it's very easy to trade ideas, and you know, we can have much more of a real time back and forth about stuff, and I really enjoy that. So I appreciate that you guys do too. Yeah, good point about that Life magazine. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I got that in a flea market. You're right. Well, thanks, Jay. I know I didn't recognize your username, so I didn't think I had seen comments from you on the videos. But yeah, please, if you have ever anything to say, please put them there, because that's good night, Annie. We've got the 1 year anniversary stream is in 2 nights from now. If you've got a question, please go to the Q&A video on my channel and ask it. I'll take questions through tomorrow, okay? Thanks, Annie. Yep, you got to get those comments in before you fall asleep. That's key. Okay, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for a while. I have to go to work in the morning, so I'm going to get out of here while I can still get some sleep. But thanks for the little trip down memory lane, and thanks for the additional discussion and ideas. Who knows if we might see some of those show up in a video at some point, okay? So you guys enjoy your nights or mornings, okay? 4:30 a.m. I would hope you've already been to sleep, Jay, and you're just waking up. Anyway, all right. Yep, I'd love to see some of you guys on the stream in a couple of nights. It'll be an earlier start, so hopefully that'll be better for you UK folks. Alrighty. Oh, you're off work this week. Good on you. That's fantastic. All right, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you later, all right? Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.